Ladies and gentlemen, I can already tell you that The Little Mermaid is going to be the gift that keeps on giving, and not just because it is an ongoing testament to Disney's commitment to giving us nostalgia bait cash grabs that nobody asked for, but because it is complete and utter proof that they got their hands in some deep pockets like controlling Rotten Tomatoes and other review websites. You don't believe me? Go ahead, let's take a look at a couple things. Welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idle, and we're going to dig into how deep Disney's pockets really go. So here we are on Rotten Tomatoes, which of course everyone knows is the bastion of unbiased reviews for movies and whatnot, and look at this, we see some pretty good looking scores. I mean, a 95% audience score with Rotten Tomatoes with over 1,000 verified ratings? Well, that's pretty good. 67% from the critics with 232. I mean, that's not that great, but hey, it's still fresh, right?
Absolutely
wrong.
True.
What you're seeing here is artificial numbers. These are not the real numbers. Rotten Tomatoes is hiding them. Now, the question is Rotten Tomatoes being paid by Disney and the higher-ups to hide them? I don't know. That's purely speculation on my part. Or are they doing this because they themselves have stock in the culture war? They just cannot stand for individuals like your boy here to be right. Now, what do I mean when I say these numbers are fake? Well, let's take a look at this 95% audience score. Click on it. Verified audience. Alright, that's interesting. What makes a verified audience member? Well, what's all audience have to say about it? Okay, that's quite a difference. In fact, that's almost a full 50% drop. 95%? 50%. Now, if I know anything about numbers, which, I like to think I do, this one's quite a bit smaller than the other, and this is the all audience. So when you take everyone that's not a verified critic and combine their review scores, we got over 10,000 ratings here. But a 1,000 plus verified ratings. Now, this is something that could be new to Rotten Tomatoes or could have been here the whole time. I'm not entirely sure. I am just now noticing this because I knew there was no way these review scores were this high. What makes someone verified versus not verified if you're an audience member? I thought the point was that the non-verified were the audience, the verified were the critics. What's the point in even having an audience score versus a tomato meter, the critics score, if you're then going to break it down again? We got 2.8 out of 5 average rating, whereas here we have a 4.7 out of 5. Now, Rotten Tomatoes, I'm going to need you to come out and explain this for a dummy like your boy here. And, of course, maybe any of you, my much smarter viewers, can let me know what's going on, because something isn't right. But, hey, if that's the case, for the audience, what's that mean for the critics? Well, 67%, again, still pretty good. I mean, it's not the greatest. It's a solid D+ if we're looking at this school-wise. But, hey, it's still fresh. 6.4 out of 10. Top critics, okay, even lower than the audience score. That's a bit surprising, honestly. If we look at the top critics, and the top critics are giving it a 47%, a flat-out F. Again, if we're going by the good old American school system, then, man, a lot of these here critics are bigoted. I mean, they just clearly hate seeing a mermaid with dark skin. Shame, critics. Shame, shame, shame. But yeah, so why is it that when we go out and just look at the regular Little Mermaid page, why are these the numbers they're showing when clearly this is not representative of the vast majority, both critics and audience? We've seen Rotten Tomatoes hide review scores before. They did it for Peter Pan and Wendy, and then when they got caught, they immediately brought it back. With the Peter Pan and Wendy scenario, they hid the audience score altogether, and then they were called out, and they brought it back. So now they're like, okay, we can't hide it. They're going to catch on. What if we just bury it, to make them click on an extra tab, click an extra button again? There's the real number. So they're getting crafty. But again, is this Rotten Tomatoes or is this Disney saying, Rotten Tomatoes, you better do this, we own you because, we're the House of Mauschwitz? It truly is an interesting question. Let's take a look at something else and see if this is a common practice. Right here, we have a 92% hole in the fence. Let's click on this. Alright, so there's no audience score, fewer than 50 ratings, but let's take a look at the tomato meter. Huh. Interesting. It doesn't have that little tab. I wonder why that is. But you know what? That's only one other film, and it seems like it is some sort of indie film. Let's find something a little bit more popular, shall we? John Wick Chapter 4. Now, how do you get more popular than John Wick? I mean, this is something critics and audiences agree on. Over 5,000 verified ratings. Click on it. Oh, here we go. It does it. All audience, verified audience, over 10,000 ratings, over 5,000, 93, 94, pretty similar. All critics, top critics, once again, pretty similar, 89, 94, a slight difference there. So is this something they've always done? If so, it's new to me, and if that is also the case, wow, how many movies that have been just these garbage, pandering films have we absolutely missed out on and not looked at the real numbers because this was not common knowledge before now? let's take a look at The Machine, the new Burt Kreischer's film. I actually plan on going and seeing this Monday. I might do a review of it. We'll take a look. We'll see. We got a 94% audience score. This one does it too. 92%. Okay, but nothing here for the nothing for the tomato meter for the official critics with 12 reviews, 33%. Well, I'm not gonna trust modern reviewers with a real life raunchy comedy anyway. Those are usually a bit of a thing of the past. But back to The Little Mermaid. So we've got the all critics option here. If we scroll through, yeah, we see a lot of tomatoes. We get a little splotch here from Liz Shannon Miller. The story is about mermaids and magic and talking fish. It doesn't need a political angle or an unexpected family connection, or even an extra 52 minutes of screen time in the end. You know what? That's fair. But again, this is all critics. Let's see what Top Critics has to say, since Top Critics had the lower score. Oh, well, look, Liz is right back up here at the top. Good job, Liz. You earned it. But then we see, well, it looks like a lot more 50-50, which makes sense. It was like a 42% for the top critics. We got Stephen D. Gradanis, suffers from the murky, underlit look common in Disney tentpoles. In underwater sequences, the dimness ostensibly approximates realism, but the real function is to camouflage CGI quality issues. Too much fails at a basic level. It's not even worth looking at. Not a bad idea. It's a pretty good little review there, Stephen, but that being said, you're a white male. We really can't take your word for it since you are a white male, and we all know that Brie Larson would agree this wasn't for you.
I do not need a 40-year-old white dude to tell me what didn't work for him about A Wrinkle in Time. It wasn't made for him.
Here we go. Let's take a look at a black guy, see what someone, Raheem Simpali has to say, because clearly he must identify with this movie on account of his skin color. I mean, that's what Disney believes. You can't see yourself in a character unless you got the same skin. The beautiful animation that kicked off the Disney Renaissance is recreated here with Windows 10 screensaver graphics. I love how he brings up the Disney Renaissance. The original Little Mermaid was, in fact, the first film as part of what is now known as the Disney Renaissance. Now we're in the Disney Dark Ages. I thought the Renaissance was supposed to come after the Dark Ages. That's how it worked in real life. What's going on, Disney? You got stuff flip-flopped. Now here we got someone of color who is also a female and a top critic, so they must be the absolute perfect demographic according to Disney's eyes, because again, you have to really be able to be in the same skin tone and of course the same genitalia to truly identify with your audience. That's what Disney is trying to get us to believe. I mean, people watching this, people like me, we know that's not true. You can be a boy, a girl, whatever, you can be any skin tone, and you can identify with anything. But going off of Disney logic, Lila Latif here should have loved this, but she says Halle Bailey's charms can't distract from all the bizarre choices at the heart of this underwhelming live-action remake. You say live-action, come on Lila, let's give it some credit, it's mostly CGI. Here we had the verified audience, and doesn't look very verified to me. Philip, no photo. Steven, no photo. Francesca, no photo. All giving it 5 stars. People got so mad that Elon Musk made you pay $8 to verify yourself on Twitter. What's your verification process like, Rotten Tomatoes? I'm genuinely curious, because that's a lot of 5-star reviews from all verifieds in a row. It makes me really wonder. Taya, 4.5 stars. Well, thank you, Taya. And Arian, 2 stars. All right, there's a little bit of variation here. Oh, nope, right back to Brianna R, 5, Kerr, 5, exceeded my expectations. Might have to go back and watch it again. That's not a review, my man. That's a statement. Stephanie C gave it, very average, middle of the road, 2.5. So much of the essence of the real Little Mermaid was lost. I'm disappointed. The movie could have been better and had potential to wow, but it didn't. However, Melissa did a great job with Ursula. My 8-year-old got bored and my husband fell asleep. You know what? Fair enough. I can imagine your 8-year-old getting bored with this drab, depressing-looking film. And then we just get right back to the 5 stars. Eden, 5. Dancis, 5. Again, these are supposedly verified reviewers, yet none of them have faces, and the vast majority of them only have first names, maybe a last initial. What about all audience? Now here, we do see the same thing. Faces, names with no pictures, but hey, these aren't verified audience. These could be the bots and the trolls, right? Me and my family really enjoyed the movie. Very good movie. Komar, best Disney movie in years. I was expecting it to not be bad, but I was actually entertained. Good movie for family. Guys, I have scrolled to the very bottom of this page. Obviously, we can hit next, but I was just curious. None of them have profile photos. And I get it. This isn't Twitter. This isn't Facebook. People probably don't think about a profile photo for Rotten Tomatoes. But if you're coming here to leave a review, and maybe you do this often. I mean, I've left a few reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, as, of course, Leon Idol, with my logo, Bolt the Word, or Words of Paradise, Bolt the Word's my Twitter handle. Follow me on there if you'd be so kind. But yeah, I want folks to know that your boy is the one leaving the reviews. Why come here if, and maybe again, if you're an audience member, sure, it's one thing. But if you're going to be verified, verified, then why aren't you, taking some sort of pride in what you're doing and, posting yourself? Guys, all in all, we know this film is going to do the same thing a fish does when you plop it out of the water and throw it on dry land. It flops. I mean, really, it's looking to have less sales than Ant-Man did opening weekend. That says quite a bit, and these reviews are clearly manufactured, and Rotten Tomatoes, whether at the behest of Disney or not, jury's still out on that one, is doing their damnedest to hide and run damage control, because everyone knew from the get-go this is what was going to happen. But you can't let the folks on the internet be right. No, not all those right-wing trolls. Remember when the trailer got like 2 million downvotes? I'm pretty sure it wasn't 2 million right-wing trolls. People just didn't want this. People didn't want Peter Pan and Wendy. Of course, Rotten Tomatoes isn't going to show us the real numbers, because that would just reinforce that we, the common folk, the paying customer, are right and they were wrong. They cannot accept that, and this is going to continue to happen. At least, I assume it's going to continue to happen. What's the next big Disney live-action remake coming out? Is it Lilo and Stitch? I can only imagine what Rotten Tomatoes is going to do by the time Lilo and Stitch comes out. Or maybe it's the Snow White movie where Snow White isn't white, despite having a skin white as snow. Oh, how times have changed. But yes, I will be sure to take a look back at Rotten Tomatoes when those travesties hit the silver screen. But those are just my opinions. Let me know yours in the comments below, or let me know on Twitter, where you can find me at BoltTheWord. And please just subscribe. We are almost at that 1,000 subscriber mark. We're like 50-ish away. It'd be really incredible if you left that subscription. We could get there by the end of the month if we try real hard. But so yes, please do subscribe. I am a nerdy news channel. I do nerdy news every day. Not always about movies. Sometimes about anime, video games, Dungeons and Dragons, you name it. It's all here in the Nerdosphere. And this has been Words of Paradise.